We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
You are the wicked wizard, 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 wizard.
Waiting for the wizard, the wizard, the wizard, the wizard.
Just another wizard. I was born with a bottle in my mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6. 6 o'clock on a Christmas morning. 6 o'clock on a Christmas morning. 6, 6, 6. The number of the beast. 6, 6, 6. The one for you and me. I used to be a student, I never used to live. I used to be a truant, but I'm still the same. Bad, bad brain, bad, bad brain. I used to go to parties, I used to drink champagne. Now I begin to feel the strain. Bad, bad brain. I used to be in show bands. I used to have fortune and fame. I used to have pleasure and pain. I used to have a name. Bad, bad brain. Bad, bad brain. And now I'm on the barren. Can't remember my name. Bad, bad brain. 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 Bad, bad brain.
What very well could have been one of the first ever hardcore punk rock songs in the world. It was so motivational that it inspired 4 kids from DC, Dr. No, Daryl Jennifer, Earl Hudson, and of course H.R. Hudson, to change their band name from Mind Power to, as we know it today, the Bad Brains. That's right. And the rest, as they say, is history. You know, kind of like my friend Bobo, who claims to have inspired me to change the name of this stream from the Metal Motel to, yes, wait for it, the Metal Motel 6. And we are live on this very late Thursday evening. Sorry for the tardiness, as we come in at like 12:12. Yikes! But we are where the desert meets the beach, of course, at the Gotcha Metal Studios here in SoCal, and I am the Heavy Metal Wizard. What we do here is we play 1 kick-ass, deliberately awesome metal cut for each metal decade from the 1970s, like you just heard right there, from the Ramones to the 2020s. We usually do it in order. Sometimes we reverse it, and sometimes we jump all over the board. As you can see, we have 6 motel doors that we must fill, and the first one filled with Road to Ruin, 4th album from the Ramones from 1978. And we move into the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. This is important stuff. Let's go back to 1983. Yes, for Stephen Pearcy and a 19-year-old Warren DeMartini, Robin Crosby, Juan Crozier, and Bobby Blotzer. Their first ever EP, just called Rats. And a classic track here, the Metal Motel 6. Yes, it is. Back for more. Oh, I love it. Can't get enough. On a Thursday night.
stops. Review it out, review it far. What's turning it cannot stop. Review it out, review it far. The wheel is turning, it never stops. Review it out, review it far. What's turning it cannot stop. Review it out, review it far. Go! Dividing soul in me, more confession on my torture. Script never really says. Right to play another life, my body lies in pieces.
Can you tell by that slight high-end hiss that I'm playing that off a cassette? I could tell. I mean, my ears pick that shit up, even though I'm not sure if it comes across on the streaming platform, but nonetheless, of the very classic cassette called Rigor Mortis versus the Earth. That's the rack right here on the Metal Motel 6, where the desert meets the beach. I am the Heavy Metal Wizard. That's our 90s cut, as that one was released back in 1991. Oh, classic, old school Rigor Mortis. Does it get any better than that? It doesn't. Rat before that, Back for More from the Rat EP. Someone pointed out they will be re-releasing that on vinyl, I guess, like everything else in the world. Ramones kicked it off, Bad Brain, from Road to Ruin, here on the Metal Motel 6. And I forgot to mention earlier that, for those of you who were looking forward to and/or, expecting our grand unveiling of the Great Wall of 70s Metal, well, that didn't happen tonight. And my apologies, but, for all 16 of you who may have been looking forward to that stream, have no fear. Just be a little bit patient, because I'm working on it. I mean, this is going to be riveting stuff, because it's going to be something very special. So just be a little patient with me, and very soon, before you know it, like Easter, no, it'll be before Easter, we'll get that Great Wall of 70s Metal on, and it's going to be something really special. I promise you that. Seriously. I stake my name, Heavy Metal Wizard, on that fact. All right, let's move on to the 2000s. And this next one, I remember when this came out back in 2009, and it's got to be one of the most impressive first singles that I've ever heard from a band. I'm talking about Red Fang. And a few weeks back, I made the claim that Yob was the greatest band out of Oregon, and they might be, but I'll tell you, Red Fang's a close second. Red Fang, of course, from Portland, Oregon, and Yob is from Eugene, I believe. So, they could each be the kings of their respective Oregonian cities. You know what I'm saying? But from the first Red Fang CD comes this track, and it is oh so good. I'm talking about the Prehistoric Dog. And we're doing it on Metal Motel 6. Prehistoric Dog from back in 2009. Our fourth track tonight here on the Metal Motel 6. And we're live, of course, where the desert meets the beach, live from our smoky and somewhat hazy Gotcha Metal Studios tonight in SoCal. I am the Heavy Metal Wizard. Thanks for checking in tonight on this very late Thursday, early Friday. And if you want to hear the Metal Motel 6 on a given night that I'm not doing a live stream, just go back and listen to one of the other, 100 streams that we've done, whether it be a plain old Metal Motel or a Metal Motel 6 or a Great Wall of Metal. Plenty to choose from. I've got a lot of them still up there on the channel. I only erased the real dogs. And believe me, there are some of those. Trust me on that. All right, for our 2010s track, I'm going to play something off a record that came out back in 2012. And I think this is the greatest album that I've ever heard from any band that we can safely say released their final studio product. And off that album is this track that we're going to play right now. It's called Headlong Flight. One of many great tracks off this one. And we're going to enjoy ourselves a little Headlong Flight. Metal Motel 6.
steer the airship right across the stars. I learned to fight, I learned to love and learn to feel. Oh, I wish that I could live it all again. I had stood the fire on the big steel wheels, steered the airship right across the stars. I learned to fight, I learned to love and learn to steal. Oh, I wish that I could. Oh, I wish that I could live it all again.
I gotta wonder which Tool album that Geddy and Alex and Neil too were inspired by to record that one, because boy oh boy. You know what I'm saying, right? Rush, Clockwork Angels music, Headlong Flight from back in 2012 here at the Metal Motel 6. Oh, that's awesome stuff from Rush. I wish I got to see them on that tour. I did not. But hey, there's always this year. There's always the tour coming up. Maybe they'll play some stuff off of Clockwork Angels. Who knows what's in store for us? Red Fang, Rigor Mortis, Rat, and the Ramones. That's what rounds out our Metal Motel 6 tonight. And I am the Heavy Metal Wizard, and the Peanut Gallery here. They promised me an R-rated, not X-rated, special guest on this late Thursday night here at the Metal Motel 6. And by now, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have figured out that my definition of R-rated does not mean anything dirty or violent or sex-filled programming. My MO tonight was simply to play all bands that began with the letter R. Oh, how creative! But anyway, so let's just see really quickly before we finish this shindig who is knocking on the door of the Metal Motel 6 tonight. Who is it, ladies and gentlemen? Here it is. It's coming. And who is that? Tom Hanks? It's Mr. Rogers. Is it Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers? I think. Anyway, Mr. Rogers. That starts with an R at least, right? Got to give him points for creativity there. Fred Rogers, ladies and gentlemen, visiting the Metal Motel 6 tonight. And without any further ado, I must thank the following for checking in on our lovely chat board here tonight. Charlene, a.k.a. Cosmic Charlie. Lassie, former baseball star. Scotty McAllister. Andy Kunapkin. Total Metal Underground. What up? Long Paul from Wisterios. Mikey Marauder is with us tonight. We've got Dr. Doom in the house. John Jacob Jingleheimer. We've got Lou Ritchie. And we've got Bobo. And that rounds out tonight's VIP list here at the Metal Motel 6, where the desert meets the beach for the last time. I am the Heavy Metal Wizard. And let's finish this shindig with one last band that, well, these guys put out a mind-blowing album just last year, back in 2025. And even though it's a self-titled album, it happens to be this great band's fifth album, and probably their best, although I will say their album called Monarchy is still up there for me. Of course, I'm talking about the great band from Reading, Pennsylvania, Rivers of Nile. And they are freaking awesome. And we are going to get to our doors here, and we're going to finish this baby with Rivers of Nile and their track. Oh, it's so positive. The Church of Despair. Take that back. It's called Despair Church. Well, that's the same thing when you think about it, right? Rivers of Nile on the Metal Motel 6. Good night, everybody. Heavy Metal Wizard signing out. We'll see you in a few nights. Adios.